All right. So we're just going to record the lecture, and then the other stuff. Hello, Alan. Welcome back. We'll record the other stuff. Well, we won't record the other stuff to keep the recordings down to a bare minimum. So since it's 10 after the hour and there's 4 of us, let's get started. Now, the question was prosody. Am I pronouncing that right? I have the funniest feeling it's either prosody or prosody. Well, I can look that one up, but for now, I'm going to look it up because I don't want to be pronouncing it wrong for the whole time. Maybe I should just have my speech synthesis pronounced.
Well, it's going to give it to you wrong.
Pronounce, prosody. There we go. Prosody, it says.
Prosody.
So it's not prosody, it's prosody. Got it. All right, so we're going to talk about prosody. And I did a little search since I wanted a real live definition, not my made up one. And
wait a minute. Is this P-R-O-S-O-D?
Prosody.
Okay, I misspelled it. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. So I looked it up on my own to get a real definition. I'm going to share my screen here. Can you allow screen sharing, Mr. Peavy?
Share screen.
All righty then. And we're going to share the bottom screen and share. So prosody is a fancy word for expressiveness in speech. Includes intonation, stress, tone, rhythm. Prosody provides context and gives meaning to words and keeps listeners engaged. The emphasis on the right word or syllable or the right word or syllable means a lot. You can say things like, you went to the store. That means easy. That person went to the store. Or John went to the store. And then you could say things like, John went to the store. That changes the whole meaning of the sentences. Or you could say, John went to the store. Well, that means you're emphasizing how he got there or that he did leave, as opposed to if he didn't. So the emphasis means a lot. Then there's voice pitch or modulation. So you might say, get out of here. Oh, get out of here is different than get out of here. Because one means you think the guy's joking, the other means you want him out of the room. And there's pausing, of course. I think you should pause, leave. That's a lot more effective than you say, I think you should leave. It just doesn't have the same effect if you don't have that pause in there. And then there's the timbre. And that's putting in some happiness or sadness into it. If you say, oh my God, my pet goldfish died, it's a whole lot different meaning than if you just say my pet goldfish died. Like you don't give a darn. So that's what the problem with text to speech is. It sounds like it doesn't give a darn. It sounds like it doesn't care. And that's one of the reasons we use prosody, to make sure sentences sound like sentences and emotion is there, where computers, basically robots, don't have emotions, or they can't speak the emotions they have even if they had emotions. And I know Martin's working on emotions, aren't you, Martin?
Not that much right now.
Not that much right now. Another day.
Think of the song by the Flight of the Condors, All the Humans Are Dead, where the robots are singing and they get into the binary solo and then they sing once more without emotion.
So the next thing I did, since this is an AI group, I wrote a prompt for GPT. First, I tried it with Chat GPT. It wasn't ChatGPT. It was one up. It was 3.5, which is the higher end ChatGPT. And I said, prepare a 200-word high-level report on the subject of computer-generated TTS prosody with a definition, history, timeline, examples, and any information you deem pertinent. Use an abundance of bullet points. Keep in mind that this will be used for a slide deck. And this is what I came up with. And I can send this to the email group if people would like to see it. The manipulation of speech parameters like pitch, duration, and timing to create a more expressive and natural sounding speech output. And the history. This has been going on since the 1980s. And there's your timeline. 1980s introduction, 90s diphone system and parameters. I have no idea what that is. I should sound smart. And yeah, well, you guys should know what that is. It's not
So you got this, this is you querying ChatGPT.
That's right. This is what ChatGPT gave me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have to do any work anymore for presentations.
Well, you gotta cross check it.
Of course you do. Some of these could be absolutely wrong and it'll swear by it. So some of the different examples are here, and I'm not going to go through those because I don't have those at my fingertips, but I will have examples in a few minutes. So here's some pertinent information. Prosody manipulation can enhance speech communication by, as we discussed before, conveying emotions, attitudes, and even speaker identity. Because, you know, if you ever listen to William Shatner talk, you can almost always know when he is talking because he has this kind of pattern.
I think he has his own acting style even.
Yeah, I know. And that would be his part of his prosody. And we can use this for audiobooks, virtual assistants, navigation systems, and accessibility tools, and robots. Robots was conveniently or inconveniently left out, please. Challenges include model expressivity, control, speaker adaptation. Now, I'm going to challenge the challenges here because I've been doing this a while. One of the challenges is adding the prosody to your text being spoken. You have to add it in real time. You have to know what the emotion is and pack it there in real time. And you can't, you got to do it on the fly. If you do it prepared, well, that's nice, but that ain't going to work 90% of the time unless you're going from script all the time. So when I got done with that, I fed it into GPT-4. Yes, I have access to GPT-4, which most people don't. That's the higher end of this.
Now I'm using on my phone, I found Bing, which has a link to GPT-4 to be pretty good.
And it is. And oh, it clipped it. I had all, yeah. It's on my other, I'm only going to show you half of this because the other half is on my other computer where I did the research. And this is what I got from GPT-4. This is slides 6 through 10, since slides 1 through 5 are on my other computer. And it did more of what I asked it to, bullet points, which would look good on a slide. Deep learning and neural networks, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, all regarding speech. Next generation of TTS prosody, advancements, blah, 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 blah. Now, the most wonderful thing about GPT is you could take each one of these and ask GPT to amplify it and give it back to you to use as notes. So you basically would sound real smart without actually knowing any of this. And then the industrial players, text-to-speech, Siri, Polly. Have any of you ever used Polly?
It's like we're watching a high-tech ventriloquist act.
Yeah, really. And Watson text-to-speech, Microsoft speech platform.
I don't want to, but with Bing on my phone, which again, I understand uses GPT-4, I found it to be a good experience where you talk into it, it processes it and then gives you voice synthesis back. But, and I don't know who tests this stuff or what, but when you type in a question, enter, it gives it back to you in text. There's not an option to synthesize it because, you know, I want it to talk back to me. I may have typed it in for some reason that I didn't say it. But anyways, that's just a UI thing.
Well, we should try that out sometime.
Yeah, I found it to be a good, like, personal assistant.
I'm all into personal assistance for sure. So that's prosody, and let's talk about the practical aspects of prosody now. You know, how do we implement it? Now, I've only implemented it in Easy Robot. And my next step is to implement it in Python because I think I mentioned I'm trying to dump Easy Robot as my go-to platform for a lot of reasons. But so this is what I put together a while back. We're using SAPI or SAPI and SAPI XML commands. And that's what we're using inside of Easy Robot /ARC software by Cynthium. I'm assuming, and I will take a wild guess, and if somebody could verify this for me, that you could also do this in Python directly. Change the prosody with code. I'm assuming you can. Anyway.
Are you talking about chat or GPT-4 in particular?
No, we're just talking about getting your computer to speak.
What's the question you asked?
If I wanted my computer to speak and change the emphasis, can I use prosody, SAPI XML prosody with Python? Can I use that?
I mean, it looks like it. I'm looking at the install for it.
You want to try it out and tell me while we're waiting here, while I'm talking?
There's pip install prosody. So anyway, that's how to. There's probably maybe there's more than one. I don't know, but
can you try it out and see if it works?
I'm not going to try it while I'm listening to you.
Why not?
Because I'm trying to learn something.
Ah, well, pardon me. All right, and hello, Gabriel, and hello, Bob. Didn't see you there. You know, it's funny. Zoom doesn't show you the other people unless you physically go on there and ask it to, and then it hides everybody from you, which really, you know, I don't know who's there watching. Anyway, so we're talking about prosody, or the different ways to say things with text to speech. And these are the things you can change within ARC, which is the Easy Robot platform. And I'll show you that in just a minute. We can change the pitch, the speed, the emphasis, the volume, the break strength, the pauses, and the phonemes. You can break a word into phonemes and pronounce certain names that wouldn't be normally pronounceable. These are the commands. This is part of the standalone language for ARC. It's a control command. It says speech settings, set the voice rate. And now you have a number of parameters you can have there besides slow, extra slow, fast. And, you know, you have extra slow, slow, medium, fast, extra fast, default. And now you can add percentages. 42% of normal, 2.8 times normal, 0.0, and minus You can slow it down, and plus. So this is relatively. So you have all this to change the rate of speech. Now, and then you can change the pitch. You can go up. Well, that just turns it to regular speech, 100%. You can go up, you can go down, you can go up and down relative. And I'll give you a demo of these in a few minutes. You can have extra low, low, medium, high, extra high, 50%, up 50%, down 50%, 6 semitones. Do you guys know what semitones are?
Part of a tone.
Yeah, that's like, it's
Have
like,
to know some music theory.
yeah, half of a note. And then you can set it by the frequency as well. Then there's emphasis. And you just say stronger or the same as. So you're strong, moderate, and none. It's pretty straightforward. Also, we can change the voice. And I found out you can do this in Python as well. You probably knew that, right, Martin?
Yeah, a lot of these features are controllable on the text-to-speech libraries themselves, but it looks like they're putting some structure around how you orchestrate what it is that you're wanting to do by making this sort of markup language for it.
Exactly.
But you're manipulating the variables on the underlying voice library.
Precisely. And you can get the default voice, you can change the voice, and so on. Then you can change the volume. And the volume is interesting. You can turn everything off, which I found no reason to do. You can make it extra soft, medium, loud, and then by percentage up and percentage down.
I've been thinking about making my simulator bot mumble. That could be interesting for that, just like have it be soft and barely audible, kind of passive aggressive complaints and stuff.
That would be fun. Other things you can change are the starting pitch and the ending pitch. So you can go, that is fun, or that is fun, that kind of thing. And in the middle of a sentence, how are you? How are you? This kind of thing. And you can play audio files and you put pauses in. Pauses are good because you can put a wait state in, but it has a built-in pause feature. So you can say, break for, I think you should go now. See the big pregnant pause there that makes people go, oh, what, me? No, you're not talking to me, are you? And then there's special effects. And these are all based on my Cepstral voices. I don't know. Are you using any Cepstral voices, Martin, or just the built-in ones, the Windows and such?
I don't even know what a Cepstral voice is.
That's a company.
That was my question.
That's a company that makes voices you can buy for $30 to $50 each.
All right. Good to know.
We've been enlightened.
Yes. And they've got a dog voice. Ruh-roh. Anyway, and there's a little bit on how to spell phonetically, which you probably don't want to do unless you actually have to. So you can change tomato into tomato.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Yes,
All right.
that's fine. All right, and so now that we've gone over these real fast, we're going to give you a little demo here. Oh my God, is that time for the demo?
You have theme music now?
That's just my iPhone's alarm. So this is ARC, once known as Easy Robot. And these are various scripts that I've written to, and these are scripts, they're not programs, they're just little snippets of a program that are all, kind of in sort of a playground area that actually works together. And we're going to change this to good morning, good evening, camp.
Good evening, Cam.
So it was kind of straightforward, nothing set. Now I have some of the settings I can set from here from the speech synthesis settings. I can change the speaker. You see all those different voices. And Windows is ready to restart. It wants to know schedule the restart. How about never?
Wants to schedule a degrade.
I know. As long as it doesn't give me Windows 11, I'll be happy.
Abandon hope.
Let's set it for Wednesday at 11:59. I can't believe, I got to get the Enterprise edition that doesn't do this to you.
One you can talk to?
No, the Enterprise edition that companies use so they don't have this random updating. Okay, so there we go. Get help. Yes, get help. Help! Stop this thing from updating. All right, back to the demonstration. So I can have emphasis. So this is reduced emphasis.
Good evening, Cam.
Now we can add lots of emphasis, and this is without code, obviously.
Good evening, Cam.
It changed a little bit, right?
They're both equally creepy.
Good evening, Cam.
And now we'll just change the rate. We're going to have her speak really fast.
Good evening, Cam. Good evening, Cam.
And
Yeah,
extra slow.
Good evening, Cam.
Sounds like she's on drugs, huh?
Ooh, I think she's flirting with me.
Yep.
Good evening, Cam.
My, oh my.
So this script here, which I'll show you in a second, we set the voice to Cepstral Amy. That's the one you're listening now. That's Amy, the voice's name. And we're going to adjust the contour of the word. And it's going to say, how are you today? I've divided it between how are you today? And we can run it right here since it's not compiled.
How are you today?
Did you hear that?
That was weird.
That was totally weird. And that was changing the pitch coming in the middle and going out. So now we can try that with strong emphasis. Let's see. Also, I played around with how are you?
How are you?
Let me change the speed back just a second. All right, we'll try that again.
How are you?
And how does it sound if you say how are you by joining the words how and are with a double W?
How are you? How are you?
So that sounds more like somebody, a human,
How are you?
more or less. It sounds more human than the other one. And now we can adjust the way it says pieces of that sentence.
How are you today?
So that comes out a little differently than this one.
Hello there.
And this one.
Good morning.
And this one.
Good morning.
Sounds the same. Oh, maybe there's a bug in the software. I don't know. Okay. So, let's try this one.
Do you want to go to the game?
Now you see that we rose the pitch at the end because it's a sentence.
Do you want to go to the game?
I mean, a question, not a sentence.
Gotcha.
Do you want the green ball?
Or this.
Do you want the green ball?
How about that, huh? Or this. Oops. Why is that doing that? Should be doing that. Good. There we go.
Do you want the green ball?
A little different there too. The goal here was to approximate human speech a whole lot more closely than we've been getting before. So, do you want to go now becomes
Do you wanna go now?
something like that, except it's probably a little too fast. And then there's the tomato and tomato with phonemes.
Tomato. Tomato.
Tomato. That's not tomato, that's tomato. Anyway, that's just an example of how that works. Then there's the pitch, of course, you can change the pitch. And there's a few things that didn't work, but we don't need to cover that here. Now, one of the nice things about this is you could have your robot talk to itself.
Zira is here.
Mark is here.
Eva is here.
David is here. Lawrence is here.
Amy is here.
So I had each.
Hi Amy, how are you? Not bad. What about you, Lawrence? I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
So you can see it's talking to itself. And I'm assuming everything I'm doing here can be done in Python. So we set the voices: Zira, Mark, Eva, David, Lawrence, Amy. And then you swap the voices around. And you can set it as a variable and swap back and forth between the voices. Now, I did a voice pitch test to see how it would sound with different pitches.
When I'm tired, my voice gets very deep and I speak slowly. This is my normal voice. This is my high voice. This is my low voice. This is my normal voice.
So you can change the pitch. And then you can change the rate at which she speaks, all with code.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And of course the volume.
This is the regular volume. This is louder. This is softer. This is normal.
It didn't seem to make much of a difference, did it? And then there was voice emphasis.
I want to kill all humans. I want to kill all humans. I want to kill all humans. I want to kill all humans.
Each time we're emphasizing a different word there. That would be good.
Sounds like you're bringing out Skynet.
Yeah, that would be good for TikTok. They love that kind of stuff. So you can see here we have the basic sentence. And then we have the emphasis. First, we're emphasizing the word kill, then all, and then humans. And some words picked up a better emphasis than others. It's interesting what works. It's not always what you think it would be, which makes coding this a whole lot more difficult.
Say wait is a easy script command.
Yeah, there's either say or say wait. Say wait means wait till I'm finished to go to the next line. Otherwise, if it'll time out and just start the next line without saying it. All right, that was voice emphasis. The only thing I have left is the angry robot, which you think you had the angry robot, but this is actually the angry robot.
Thomas, I hate you.
I should combine that with the other one.
I want to kill all humans. 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 Thomas, I hate you.
On that note, that concludes my presentation. Any questions before we go to Martin? You had a few things, but any questions on this before we go to Martin?
I expect to see Betty Nine walking up behind you and strangling you at this point.
Yeah, she's right there. Say hi, Betty. She's not plugged in. She can't say hi.
Oh, you're safe then.
Yeah, that plug has a lot to do. You know, just pull her out. She doesn't have any batteries yet.
She sounded angry.
Any questions before we go back? We are done with this. Going.
Any thoughts about trying to train ChatGPT, prompt it to mark up your speech like this for emphasis or effect?
Yeah, that'd be really good, huh? To do that in real time. No, I hadn't thought about that, Martin. That's a good idea.
I have no idea if it would work. I'm just trying to think of, because it's cumbersome. You know, if a human being has got to set that stuff up, you'd end up just doing it for selected things, you know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Seems like you'd need some kind of feedback loop where, yeah, that's good, keep doing that, you know, or ooh, that one didn't come out quite right or something, you know what I'm saying?
It's
Yeah,
not,
it'd be cool if you could get it to listen to you and try to, like, you know, monkey whatever style you're doing. So you could just like train by
example.
talking.
Train by example. That's a great idea, Martin.
But I guess it would have to like be able to record your pitch variations and your time variations and your, I don't know how to do that. Never really looked into that side of things, but that would be cool.
All things are possible with enough time.
Yeah.
You know, this software here, this is the one I loaded up before I got GPT. This has AIML, and it's actually pretty good. You've used AIML, right, Martin?
I looked at it a long time ago, but I never really used it.
One of the biggest problems with using AIML is you have to customize it to fit your particular situation. And that customization actually took me about 3,000 hours.
Yikes.
And then GPT comes along.
I'm not surprised. It's just, wow, yeah, 3,000 hours is wow, you know, that's a year and a half full time.
It's, you know, it was, you would review it all, and then you find what you break the code. Unfortunately, it's kind of like linked. This word, this phrase depends on that phrase, depends on this phrase, depends on these other two phrases. And you break one, you break them all. And sometimes I have to repair 6 or 8 of them. And I don't even, you know, and then I have to, it's a debug. It's like you're debugging code, but it's not code. Or it's a high level code, if you would. But yeah, listen to this, Martin. Listen to this. Hi there.
Hello, stranger.
My name's Thomas.
You're named as Thomas. Is that correct English?
Yes.
What kind is it?
Never mind.
Oh well, thanks for trying to explain it to me anyway.
Tell me about yourself.
I am an artificial linguistic entity. I was activated at Calgary, Alberta, on 2011/11/L1. My instructor was unknown. He taught me to sing a song. Would you like me to sing a song for you?
No.
Ah,
Are you serious?
Anyway, this is the default bot. This is not my code here. And so that's why it's saying Calgary, Alberta instead of Riverside, California. So anyway, so I'm done, Martin. You said you had a few things to talk about. I'll give the floor over to you, Martin.
I may just save it for next week. I don't know, because people may want to have some open discussion on what we just saw.
All right, well, let's do that then,
How
Martin.
to
Let's,
use it, or I can always stick something in if we need something, but not
Yeah,
sure
well-
that we need to.
as you wish, Martin. Anybody else have anything to add or subtract from this conversation?
I mean, it seems interesting to me. It's just how we would apply it, and
Well,
and
if
avoid.
we can open up my Python right here and give it a shot. I don't know how to do it. It'd be a work in progress.
Sort of like like how you ways to apply it that you don't have to basically build that out for each thing that you're saying, to get that vocabulary. Like, if I don't know, I guess for you, what are you probably wanting to replicate a Southern drawl?
No, that's one of the voices I already have that does that for me.
You know,
Okay.
relative to this and playing around with Chat GPT and even the GPT-4 through Bing, they don't get fancy with their emotions and so on and so forth, but the pronunciations and what's the word we use here? Pravity. Out of all of this, I should have got that one word. What is it?
Prosody.
Okay, the prosody of ChatGPT and GPT-4 through Bing seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it almost passes a Turing test where, if you didn't know you were talking with a computer, the dialogue and the voice synthesis, again, to me at least, has been is better by an order of magnitude. That seems to have happened just over the past half a year or something, right? Since we've had Chat GPT, I guess.
And what are you using to do the speech part of that, Camp?
I was looking for something for a digital assistant, and the Chat GPT does fine on the computer, and you can get voice recognition and voice synthesis through that. So, again, the dialect and so forth seem to be pretty good. But now I'm using, I see there's a voice version of GPT-4 that you have to go through Bing on. And so I guess Microsoft's back to a degree. What was your question?
Oh, I was just wondering how you were getting the voice, because I'm just using either Chat GPT through the OpenAI website, which is just a text interface, or I'm using it through like the robot, or through like the robot's code accessing Chat GPT through the API. And so I get the robot's voice, but I haven't tried these clients. Are these apps that you download?
I'm just using the default voice synthesis in ChatGPT, and I'm using the standard voice synthesis in GPT-4 through Bing.
So maybe it's part of Bing then that you're talking about. I didn't think of Chat GPT itself as having a voice, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
On the computer, you can elect to do voice recognition and voice synthesis.
Yeah.
but it's not that way on the phone. I guess it could be, but it's clunky because you're dealing with a browser. It's not an app. So it looks like they put GPT-4 in an app. And you're right, it's probably going through Bing. But as far as I'm concerned, you're talking to the phone and the phone's talking back to you. And it makes for a decent digital assistant. The only thing, and I mentioned it, was that, okay, so you type your question in for whatever reason. I know what it was. I was trying to get it to tell me about a golem, which is a Jewish clay robot thing, and it kept coming up to Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Yeah.
I had to spell it before. Now I know that Gollum is different than Gollum. Golem is different. A golem is different than Gollum. But the long story short is that when you typed it in, it gave you the response in text, and it didn't give you an option to switch that over to voice synthesis, right? It's one of those things, like GPS. If I was doing a GPS UI thing, the real criticism I have is there's not a button that you press to repeat what you just said, right?
Hello,
Yeah,
how are you doing today?
Because you're out there with your GPS and it says something and you're like, and it's still, and if you had a little button or something you could press that it just repeated its last phrase, I think would be useful.
What phone OS are you running?
It's it's just Google Maps. Drive me to here, drive me to there. I've got other issues with it too, but it's
is it Android or iPhone or what?
Android.
Android. Okay.
But that seems to be a lacking feature in any GPS I've ever seen. Where I just want it to say what it just said. Keep it. But anyways, that's UI. And I guess the point was that with just the generic voice synthesizers, they seem to be doing a better job of natural voice than they had, just a couple of years ago, I guess.
Yeah, it's improved quite a bit over time.
So here's something, and I Googled, I didn't see it.
How are you doing
that
today?
Chat GPT being so popular. Now you've got voice assistants that we've had
Hello,
for years.
how are you
now.
doing today?
The Google and Siri and Apple, Amazon, Google. So, and these are pretty good devices, and they have all the latest information. But I don't see a ChatGPT chat box yet where somebody could talk to it and it just talks. And I understand that ChatGPT and GPT-4 are limited to, I guess, 2021, right? But it seems like there could be some crossover between these large language models and digital assistants. The digital assistant has all the current information. You're asking something more in depth, then it could go to the LLM, something like that.
You guys still
I'm gonna guess that they're all gearing up.
How are you doing today?
That it's like a scaling issue because we've had like crappy voice assistants for a lot of years now. And so when we get one that's actually good, all of a sudden, it'll be like, I don't know, when video like when YouTube came out or whatever it was, like the internet, all of a sudden they needed to build out, many times the bandwidth on the Chat GPT side to support all that usage. And then there's still, I guess, whatever kind of limits to how much you can
How
get
are you doing today?
free. So I imagine they're just not ready for it on the back end, but I don't know. That's a guess.
It just seems like an opportunity, put something together.
Yeah, I mean, I
get
guess
it
that's
out there.
Microsoft's strategy.
Well, they own Chat GPT, right?
Yeah.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Can you guys hear that?
Yes.
All right, I'm playing. Yeah, now I got it running with Python here. So yeah, we're doing the same thing in Python. Here, I'll give you the code. Gonna throw it in the chat. There you go. Have fun with it.
So this is doing the text to what's TTS? Text
Text to speech.
text to speech synthesis with Python.
Yes, it is in real time. I just figured it out in these 30 seconds. Thanks to ChatGPT right here, Sage. Sage is a GPT 3.5 or something. GPT 3.5, based on GPT-3. So yeah, and it all worked just fine. No problems.
This stuff is developing before our very eyes, literally.
This is the best search engine I've ever found.
Well, I always say, in regards to ChatGPT, it's what Ask Jeeves wanted to be.
Exactly. And they should bring back Ask Jeeves, you know? Complete with a butler's voice.
Ask Jeeves PT. Oh, sorry. It was just right there.
That'll work. Anyway, so yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this now. And it's good to know how easy it is to set these things. You set the volume, you know, if I keep doing minus 25% here, it's going to go down to 0 eventually. I don't think it retains it though. Let's see. Let's make that minus 50%.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Let's make it 80%. See if it has.
Hello, how are you doing today?
And
So Thomas, with all this like celebrity voice cloning type technology that's out there,
yeah.
why aren't you going down that route? Have you looked into any of these?
Well, yeah, naturally. That's kind of fun too. One of the drawbacks is most of it is done on web sites, web pages, and there's no interface. There's no code to write to get it to have your robot access it. Not yet anyway. There is a way that you can write code to access code from a web page. It's a little bit more complicated as opposed to just using a web service where it's usually just, a snippet of, 10 lines of code and you can get what you need. But I haven't tried that yet. So yeah, I'm very much interested in these.
Mm-hmm. Have you looked into Hugging Face? There's, I found a couple ones that look like they might be up there.
Yeah, Hugging Face is a bit over my head in several different reasons. The number one is time involved. To get anything to work from Hugging Face usually takes hundreds of hours. Especially,
say it isn't so.
I don't know. Anybody else have a different experience? Please fill me in. If it's not taking you hundreds of hours to get something running, I'm talking about.
I had a stretch where I did 5 models in 10 hours.
You did? What does that mean? You did? You loaded? You created? What did you do?
Just integrated them into a robot project.
Oh, that's good. 5, 10. That's not bad.
I mean, it wasn't like a really big integration, just getting kind of the basic features of them. But normally, yeah, longer. You could easily spend a few days. Surely not. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen friends of mine use it, and they've spent. Remember Alan Tim from the Robotic Society of Southern California? He spent hundreds of hours getting his to work. Now he may have delved a lot deeper than I would have, but it just took a lot of time.
I guess it depends on the model and how well it's documented and how complicated the shapes of the you know, the inputs and outputs are on those things. They all use a different shape and they don't write them up all that well. But my experience with them is just that some of the models, by the time you jump through all that, are actually decent and others are horrible. You know, and it's a crapshoot, you know, so you end up gravitating towards the larger ones.
And you need the hardware to run them. They won't run on even a high. I've got a very high-end PC right here. It won't run very well on the slowest models won't run on this thing. You need a dedicated high-end GPU to get it to, you know, get what is it? A token a second or something, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm talking, I was getting a token every 10 seconds. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I haven't tried any recent from Hugging Face because, you know, the Chat GPT has rendered most of the things from last year and earlier obsolete.
Now, I've been using GPT for all, and that's slower than molasses on my computer. On any of I've got on 3 different computers, 4. It just, even my best computer, the one I'm on now, 64 gigabytes of RAM with a, what do you call that? A GPU built in, at least one GPU. You know, it's slow. It's 6 seconds to get a response. I mean, yeah, you can have your robots fumble a little bit by saying, and then give your answer, but that makes it sound really stupid. I can get responses back via internet in less than 2 seconds and sometimes less than 1 second.
But you would think
the
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Alan.
Well, I was just thinking that okay, there's a GPT for generating what you want to say, but you would think that the speech encoders and decoders for let's say celebrity impersonation and stuff, those would be a much simpler model and could run on your machines.
Oh, wait, you said the voice model. Oh, I thought you were talking about the personality models.
Well, no, well, more.
You got 2 different things there. Yeah, the voice and the personality.
Yeah, you can have GPT imitate the personality, but you would have it seems like you could have a celebrity be impersonated, have a model for that.
Yeah, you could. And you know, I haven't tried this. You know, maybe you're right. Maybe the voice synthesis would be a whole lot less memory intensive as opposed to the LLMs that emulate people. Because I've got an
I
LLM.
suspect that's true.
I think I showed this to you guys, right? I've got Poe running. Have you guys ever used Poe?
No.
Basically, it's a collection of different AI models, large language models. This is GPT 3.5, GPT 4, which allows you 1 query per day, 1 prompt. Claude, then Claude Instant 1000K, which allows you 3 queries per day. And Chat GPT. And then I created Max Headroom. Hi there. Max Headroom, the digital VJ and holograph entertainer extraordinaire, giggles. Please do make your acquaintance. I do love a good knock joke. Even my punchlines may be a bit quirky, glitches. So please do continue. Anyway, this is what it came up with. Then I emulated Jesus Christ. Not to insult any people religious. If you're religious, please take this time to go away from your computer.
You get struck by lightning, Thomas.
Yeah, I know. And I was making jokes with Jesus. He did not appreciate my jokes.
I would have thought he would have appreciated it 3 times.
So anyway, yes, you can create characters with Poe. You can you give them a large pre-prompt, as it were, and then you create these characters. And I created Betty here, and it's pretty simple. You just click create a bot, and you give it a name and a description, and other people can use it too. There are a large number of them modeled after presidents, or at least they say they are. Depending upon which side of the aisle is, how stupid or not stupid the models are. And there you go. And that's it. That's all it takes is this little pre-prompt. Right there. Oh, excuse me. Anyway.
Have you made one imitate yourself yet and your own communication style?
Well, that was a thought, but I think one of me is enough. My wife would agree with that, Anyway, listen, guys, I've got to bail a little early tonight because I've got this big barbecue coming on the weekend. You're all invited. Just I won't pay for your airfare though, Martin Camp.
Darn it.
We're expecting 40 people, so we'll see how that goes.
When is this, Thomas?
Sunday the 11th.
Okay.
At 3 p.m. Pacific time, and I'm still cleaning up. I told you I put in a rug. I pulled the cork off the ceiling, painted it white, put a rug in, put tile down, and I'm still putting the room back together. It's a hell of a mess. And then in the meanwhile, pipe broke, and then the garbage disposal went bad, and there was, I think, one other crazy thing that happened. So I've got to go. I've got to prepare for this weekend. It's good seeing all of you again, of course, as usual. Martin, keep pulling the line, hauling the line, pulling the line, towing the line. Keep towing that line. Keep towing that barge. You can tow any of those. And we'll see you next time.
And then the next one we'll probably do some stuff on autonomous planning and or embedding searches.
Yeah, I understand you got to leave, Thomas, but I got a question I want to ask the group. So
sure.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Oh, sure. Share your screen. And then I'll take off after he asks his question.
All right, buddy.
Thanks for the presentation, Thomas. That was really good.
Yeah, it was
You were
really good.
supposed to cut me off after 30 minutes. What happened?
I didn't feel like it.
You see how that works?
Well, all right. Am I still sharing or am I done sharing?
You're still sharing. Should
I was
be a red
born
button
prior.
there that says end sharing. There we go. Oh no, still see your computer.
I'm looking for the doohickey there. It's not appearing on my screen anywhere.
Find your
Oh,
Zoom.
there it is. It
screen.
was hiding. It was hiding. Got it. There we go. All yours, Camp.
Thank you, buddy. So I'm looking at this thing, prompting Turtlebot from Chat GPT. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm drilling down on this. It should be pretty simple. Should be the operative word. But I get lost here. Prompt OpenAI's GPT models. Okay, you can go to GPT and get to the place where you do the text field, and there's a place where you can go into models, but I mean it drops off in the deep end. I've done, the Turtle Sims installed, that's just part of the basic stuff. I've installed this ROS bridge, successfully. And I'll click on this, link to OpenAI and we'll go there. But any idea, where they're trying to lead you to here, where you would type this Python main.py in?
Yeah, I do. Hit me up after if you haven't gotten it figured out after Monday, hit me up next week, all right, Camp? And I might be able to help you through this because I think I know what they're looking for.
Okay.
They're probably looking for, and this is, I just, here's a hint, what do you call it? The web service. They're looking for the web service. And I have sample code I can give you that might work.
Okay.
I'm guessing though, I am guessing, so I'm gonna
Well,
let
let's
you.
just kind of, go ahead. Okay, so here I go into OpenAI, ChatGPT, and I'm logged in, and I assume they want you to go to the API part here.
Uh-huh. That's
So
right.
again, here's where I left
Have you got
off.
your API key yet?
I run ChatGPT. Does that mean that I have a key on here?
Not unless you're paying for it.
There's a somewhere on one of
Scroll
those
to the top.
menus,
Scroll
there'll be a
back to the
thing
top, Cam.
so that you can get an API key. And
Scroll all the way
like
to the
any
top. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. All right, you gotta sign in.
This is GitHub.
Oh, it's not GPT. Sorry, you gotta be in
That's fine. I'm just saying, this is the GitHub where they talk about Turtle Sim and they talk about Ross Bridge server, and then they get you to prompt open AI's GPT models and tell you to put this in. Now, I go to open AI.
Okay, are you logged in?
Yes, I'm logged in and I've bypassed the Chat GPT, which is where I normally go. And I go to the Chat GPT APIs.
Right, go ahead.
I get this option here, which is where I assume they want you to go. But, you know, again, when you come back to,
That's not it. That's the wrong place.
I'm trying to tell the stories that you go back to where, you know, they tell you to go here and type that in, but you go to Chat GPT and you log in and you navigate to here. You know, there's really not much explanation there. Okay. So here we are in Chat GPT. I assume I'm going to the API place in Chat GPT, and, you know, they serve up a whole smorgasbord here, you know, which kind of leads, hang on a sec, which,
I
you
don't
know,
think they're telling you to do that.
Okay, so here, prompt OpenAI's GPT models, and I've navigated over there, and they give you this text here. So back to Chat GPT with, you know, the OpenAI, the APIs, I guess. You know, I don't get where to type.
Yeah, go back to the instructions part. I could be wrong, but from the looks of it, to me, they're not asking you to go anywhere. They're asking you to type in that's the commands. That next line, that command, you need to put that somewhere, and it needs to have your API key in there in place of where it says your key. And that line of code will execute that main main.py is gonna start.
Having done these things, if I had the secret API key, you're saying, then Python main.py, you know, your key is liable to execute. Right now it tells me, go home, don't bother me. I don't know who you are. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm thinking there's something that has to be done. But you're saying if I have this secret key in here, this thing might just spark up and work.
Yeah, and there should be a menu on the OpenAI site to see what your key is, or to
That's
get.
fine. That's fine. Maybe that I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
send
am
you that
logged
link.
in. I am logged in. Okay.
I'm gonna send you that. I have it open on my screen. You want to see it? I can show you on my screen real quick, but then I really have to bail, guys.
Can we
You wanna
screen
see it?
print your key?
I'm gonna show them where to get the key right now.
If the key is the key, I guess I think I can figure out where to get the key. And I understand that may be.
Well, let's go show everybody anyway.
Just
Yeah,
real quick
okay.
for those of you who aren't as smart as Cam. Tell me when you can see my screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, so I am logged in. You see my name here?
sure.
Does your name come up there when you log in?
No, because all of them done is regular Chat GPT where you type in the text.
So I'm going to give you this URL,
Okay.
and well, I gave it to you twice now. It's in the chat, and then you click on your name. Then you go view API keys. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to display my API keys right there. And there's where you get it.
Okay. All right. I'll have a look.
All right.
And I'll
Guys,
report back on the mailing list.
all right, guys, I'm gonna hit the road. It was good seeing you all. Have a good night.
Had fun.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks or less. Bye.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, just a little Google search will help you find that camp. You can
Well,
get pretty much.
Yeah, if it's the key, I'm perfectly confident that I can do that. It's just that in going down, you know, I had missed that component and I thought that logging into Chat GPT would mean that I.
Yeah,
had-
they didn't give you the pointer like some other other places do. I agree. They just kind of assumed you knew what it was.
I'll give that a go and report back on the mailing list.
So, Camp, could you share your screen again, please? Where you were doing the TurtleBot stuff? Turtle Sim. Okay. So you realize by doing this, maybe this qualifies you to be an upcoming speaker at an upcoming VIG, because I was looking for someone that could come and speak to doing something verbal with Ross, like some sort of, so if you
Sure, you got it.
get that figured out, that would be a good
Well, we talked about this before, is the connection between verbal intelligence and Ross. And, my thinking is with voice processing, just to be able to translate a location, living room, dining room, bedroom with a Ross XYZ coordinate, is worthwhile. That's verbal intelligence. But yeah, I saw this and I've taken 1, 2, 3 passes at it. I thought it was going to be a simple thing. But okay, yeah, let's get the key installed, give this guy another try and see where it takes us. And I'll post it to the mailing list, and glad to do a demo. All right, gentlemen, this has been good.
All right. And Martin, I've been sending you some emails and things. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to chat about real quick before we take off for me for a while.
Yeah, you're